What did you think about? Do you think Ben Askren didn't take it seriously? Do you think he was just like, I'm going to make $1 million? I love Ben Askren, by the way, Olympian, champion of in other organizations. Didn't have much success. I loved the fight with Robbie Lawler. That was a great fight. He got slammed on his head. That was awesome. But what do you think? He just didn't take it seriously? He just thought this was a YouTuber. What do you think? What do you think about that?
He was a former champion, Bellator, former champion, ONE FC, but he always about wrestling. He never really have a good hands in MMA. If you see his fight against Demian Maia, no hands. Yeah. If you see all of his fights, he don't really have hands. I don't think he have a time to prepare. And the Jake Paul is not bad. People think he's just a YouTuber, but he take this serious. He's sparring, he's training, he's doing the bad work. He have better hands than Ben Askren. And Ben Askren just had he got knocked out by Masvidal. Then he did a hip surgery, so he was coming back for some injury. I don't think he had time. He's not a good striker anyway, so I don't think it would make a difference. If you give him another year, he'll probably still get knocked out. But I'm happy for him. He make good money. He make more money than he ever made in his whole career, I think so.
Yeah, how can you fault the guy for that? How can you fault the guy for that? And so now Jake's going to be fighting the former champion, UFC champion, and his name's eluding me because I have a brain. Ben Askren's best friend.
Tyron Woodley.
Tyron Woodley, yes. And
Woodley.
Woodley, yes. And I love Woodley. I lost $1,600 on Woodley because I bet that he was going to beat Usman. And then I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Now to be fair, I didn't really lose it. I earned $1,600. Yeah. I started from 0. I got to 16, and then I was like, like a typical gambler. And it was a bad decision. And then I haven't done it since. But that seems like a little bit more of a bit of a, that might be a tougher fight.
That would be different because Woodley can box. Woodley got good hands, heavy hands. He's big too, so he's in shape. He can definitely box. He can definitely strike, and he got power too to knock him out. So that can be good. If you beat Woodley, you gotta put a respect on his name, because that's a good fight.
Honestly, like I said, I'm like a kid, so I like talking about like who would win, Superman or the Hulk and things like that. But like if you look at Jake Paul, Logan Paul, I think the guy could scrap. Like if you started a fight with Logan Paul in the street, he knows how to wrestle. He just went. I mean, granted, he was 6 inches taller and 50 pounds heavier than Floyd, but I think that guy could handle himself. Maybe not against you or another fighter, but I think, he would be fine. I think he could handle himself. For the average.
Athletic. He's very.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very athletic, and he take this serious. People, you can talk whatever you want. I follow them. I see that they training. They train hard. They take this serious. And he's athletic. He's in shape. He's young. He can definitely defend himself. Absolutely.
And he's got a great podcast. It's a really good podcast. It's like, besides Joe Rogan's podcast, it's a really good podcast. So let me ask you, let's get back to you, because like I said, I get all over the place because I get excited and stuff. But you train every day. Do you have any sort of, I don't know what you call it, do you have any sort of methods you do every day, or superstitions or things you do, or things you do on a daily basis to get prepared for training? Or
I just kiss my daughter and my wife every day in the morning. That's it.
Yeah, see, that sounds nice. I don't have one of those. Either one of those. That sounds really nice. No, they say that gives you like a purpose. They say that gives you a purpose. Having a family
Yes.
gives you a purpose. Now, I was married, divorced. She wanted kids. I didn't. Then I did. She didn't. And then so now I don't. Now all I have is a poster of Elvis Presley and Humphrey Bogart and Marilyn Monroe. But I don't even have a kitten or a puppy. But so when's your next? Do you know when your next fight is?
No, don't know yet, but I want to take summer off with my family and enjoy a little time. Fight take a lot of time for your family, a lot of sacrifice. So every time I have a chance to enjoy my family, because time will go by. Even though I'm doing this for my family, time will go by and you never get the time back. So my daughter is 7. I like to enjoy the time with my daughter.
Any more? You thinking about any more kids in the future? That's too personal. I'm sorry.
I hope so. No, I don't want.
You said you said you were an open book, so.
Yeah, maybe another one, but right now I'm good. I'm happy with my little one.
Yeah. Do you think that like, for example, Anthony Smith was that whole deal with Anthony Smith where someone broke into his house and he beat the crap out of him, but the guy kept coming because he was high on drugs and possibly had some mental, and I don't fault that guy. I'm not, because that's a real thing. Mental issues are a real thing.
Yeah.
But are you starting the process of training your daughter, not necessarily to be a fighter, but just some self-defense, maybe some moves to get away, or are you waiting a little bit till she gets a little bit older?
But
Or what?
I hope I will.
What's that?
I hope. I say I hope I will be always there to protect her, but of course I'm gonna teach her some. She don't like it right now, but maybe in a couple of years, get her in kickboxing, jiu-jitsu for sure.
Yeah, growing up, my parents did the regular stuff for me. Like, they put me in baseball, they put me in soccer. Here in America, that's what they do. They put, I was too small for football, but they put me in soccer and baseball. And thinking back, I would much rather have been in like jiu-jitsu, but they didn't have, back in the 80s, it wasn't as prevalent.
Yes.
We had taekwondo. Taekwondo was the big thing, but so that's great that you're doing this. I'm so happy for your success. Who are some of your friends that who do you I don't know if do you hang out with any other UFC fighters?
No, man, I'm like I say, I'm a family man, dude. Home, gym, that's it. And if I go, sometimes I go do my camp in Vegas, but it's all in the gym there. I see the UFC guys. I don't really, I'm most of a lonely guy, family guy. Don't bored, kind of bored guy.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Was that something that your family taught you growing up, or just you sort of developed it? Were they like, hey, just stay humble, or was it something that, like, for me, I was always a loner, and some people thought there was something wrong with me, and I was like, I'm fine, like, leave me alone. And now I'm a little more outgoing. But like, were you always like that, or is it something your dad or your mom just said, hey, just be humble, don't.
No, I developed with time because I grew up with a lot of people around me. My family's loud, big, a lot of people. So I was one of like you. I always want to be in my side, do my own thing, and they always think there was something wrong with me too. by this day, they still think my head is not all there. Say, "Oh, you want to be a fighter? Are you crazy?" so, so yeah. But with time, share my time with my family. That's what I do.
It's interesting is with fighting. I remember I used to. And people are gonna laugh now, but I was in 7th grade, so that's kind of called junior high here. Junior high is 7th and 8th grade, and I got into a lot of fights in 7th grade because I wasn't getting picked on. I just had a very short temper. My dad was 6'1", 330 pounds. May he rest. And he didn't die that. He died very skinny because he did the gastric bypass to lose weight. So he got down to 160 pounds. But he's a very tough man. And I remember as I started getting older and kids started getting stronger, I was like, oh, these punches hurt more. Like, you know what? I'm good. Like, and then kids started taking, I'm not even joking you. 8th and 9th grade, they're taking steroids. They were grown men walking around my high school. Like, they had the mind of a 9th grader, but they had the body of like a lightweight, a UFC lightweight. They looked incredible. You're like, how the hell do these kids look like this? But people, it was high school. They didn't test like that, So did you play any other sports growing up?
I used to play soccer. I actually used to be pretty good at soccer.
Yeah.
In Cape Verde we say football, but here is soccer. So I used to be pretty good at soccer, but I used to be really aggressive, so it didn't work out too good for me.
So you were a big guy. Is rugby a prevalent sport where you're from? I don't really fully understand what rugby is. No, okay.
Rugby is almost like football.
It's almost like football, but I don't understand it. I tried to watch it, and I don't get it. It's like football without pads, and those guys are tough too. So it says you're 262. What do you walk around at?
275 right now.
So would you be happy, like, if the UFC or MMA in general, I don't know what the rules are of Bellator or anything like that at this time. I used to be a huge fan, but then I had to start buckling down. But would you be open if they extended the weight or made a super heavyweight? Because like 265 is the limit, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because I think if you open limit, the guy's gonna show up at 300 pounds. But we are heavyweight. We don't really care about. We already lazy in general. The heavyweight doesn't give a fuck. We got power, and that's what we do. So I think if you don't give us a limit, we're gonna do whatever we want. I'm never gonna worry about making 260. If you tell me that I can fight the 280, and I know I have the power. So I think the limit is good. Keep the limit, force us to stay a little bit disciplined.
And what about a super heavyweight division? Do you think that's silly?
We're heavy already. Just be heavyweight. There's some guys that's super heavy. Well, Gregard is like about 300 pounds. When he's in the cage, he's about 290.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Like I was watching the fight, and when you're you're confident. You're a confident guy. You've been doing this a while. But when you're standing across from a guy that big, I guess you're probably not worried about it. But that's a big dude, right? That's a big boy.
He is big. When I first saw him in the cage, I said, "Well, I better start to do some work right now before he gets to me," because he was big, long arm. I saw him the way I did. I thought he was that big, but when we locked in the cage, I said, "Oh, he's big. I'm not gonna let about it." And he told me that he can weigh too, so he said he was about 290 that day.
That's the thing about and I really was like impressed how you were chopping. I've watched a lot of videos, and they talk about how smaller guys can defeat bigger guys, and you know, not that you're small by any means of the imagination. I would take off my pinky toe to be your height. I really would. I don't need it. It doesn't help me. But you know, to go to the judges, you were chopping his leg, and at the end of it, you could see that big red, you know, whelp on his leg, and you really just chopped it, and you know, it is what it is. It goes to the judges. But then even that other fight, you fought that gentleman. I'm cheating right now, but you fought Felipe, right? And then Felipe, in my opinion, I think he lost to Tafa, but they gave him the decision. And it was a close fight with you as well. I was watching it. What are your thoughts about, you know, when it goes to the judges? Would you rather you would rather just get the knockout, right?
In the Felipe fight, I had a disc bulge in my back 3 weeks prior to the fight, so I couldn't move. I basically didn't train. I was in bed for 3 weeks prior to the fight. I knew I had no cardio. Third round, I wasn't even the third round. But I prefer win by knockout than win to decision, because my style, every time I go to decision, I lose fights by decision. Yeah, I don't like decision.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did anybody come up to you, and you don't have to say who they are, but did anyone come up to you after that Hardy fight and say, bro, you didn't lose that fight? Besides your coaches. Yeah.
A lot of people, was a lot of coaches in the back, a lot of people tell me that they thought I won the fight.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
30-27. I know. I don't want to upset you, but like 30-27. Like, come on, really? All three judges?
I definitely win the first round for sure. So I don't know.
Hey, what is what it is. So, so right now your journey is you're working yourself up. You're working your way up. You're trying to build your skill set, and then you know you want to do this for a while. How long do you think you can do MMA or UFC, or stay in the UFC? And you know, how long do you want to? Do you have a contract with them? And
I'm 34 right now, so if I can do this for another 5-6 years, I'll be good. But if I feel like I can do it at high level, if I feel like I may get knocked out 2-3 times, and I feel like I can push more than be a fighter. I want to be a father. I want to be a husband. I want to be a grandfather. I want to take care of my family. But in my heart, in my mind, I want to do it for another 6 years.
I'll tell you what, if I could jump through this screen and give you a hug, I would. And I'm not gay, but I prefer the company of women. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but I'm saying if I could, I'd give you a hug, because you seem like a nice guy. You seem like a really nice guy. Like that's awesome. That is awesome. Who is DC a nice guy? He seems like a nice guy. Have you met him? Have you talked to him at all?
A nice guy. Yeah, I met him a couple of times in Australia. And,
Oh, I lost you. Oh, think I lost him. Uh-oh. Well, that was my interview with Yorgan Decastro. Let's see if he comes back in. Let's see if he comes back in. We'll give him a second. Yeah, I like guys like that. I like guys who, you know, they're there for their family. You know, Deontay Wilder did the same thing. He's well, a little bit different. His daughter was sick, and with spina bifida. I'm gonna blow this, and people are gonna crush me. Thank God I have thick skin, I think. But it was you know, when you're doing something for other people, besides yourself, then there seems to be more of a motivation. Is what I'm gathering. Is so. When you have mouths to feed that count on you, that seems to be a driving force in what makes you want to get up in the morning. And a lot of people are motivated. A lot of people have motivation to succeed. They want to, leave their mark on this world. And this guy just seems like he is a good, solid guy who's just, he seemed like a really great guy who just happens to be really good at fighting. And I really enjoyed that conversation. There's lessons to be learned in everything. I've learned so many things. I've been through so much bullshit. Let's see, I had issues from a child. I got divorced. I was homeless for 3 years. I filed bankruptcy. I wound up in a mental institution. I hate to say institution. A mental hospital. And I'm going to give you a bit of advice. Do not date someone from a mental hospital. I did it. It's not a good idea. Sex is great, but other than that, you don't want to do it. So, I guess I lost Mr. Decastro, and that is okay. So we will give him another minute, and I'll just shoot the stuff here. I have some really good interviews lined up. I have an interview with Tyler King. He's a former NFL player, and then he turned to MMA. He fought in Bellator. He also fought in the Ultimate Fighter. Vince Pinchel is also. I have an interview with him lined up. I have an interview with another UFC fighter whose name eludes me. She fought on the Ultimate Fighter. I have an interview lined up with a real estate mogul, Pam, I want to say Goodwin. But I guess my interview with Decastro is over. I think I intimidated him. I think that's what it was. I think he saw my presence and he was like, wow, this guy is something to be reckoned with. And I get it. I'd be scared of me too. I'd be totally scared of me too. So I'm actually trying to stall while he maybe tries to get back on, but I'm not really sure if his it looks like his Zoom just went out, and that's okay. So we'll do this again, this was I had a really good time talking to Yorgan. What a good guy. What a solid guy. Has a solid record, 6-3. He his motivation is his family. He beat Tafa in 2019. Tafa's good. I saw Tafa's real good. Hardy, I didn't think he lost that round. Lost that fight. But they gave it to Hardy. I think that might have been more of a name recognition thing. He lost to Felipe. I'm not sure how you say his name correctly. The fight was but I didn't watch the fight. He lost on a fight night in April. But really good dude. Sounds like he started from humble beginnings. and really just trying to hone his skills, be a good dad, be a good husband. And isn't that amazing? Like, trying to be a good husband, being a good dad. Like, isn't that nice? Like, you know, that's amazing. That's great. And and he's 34 years old, so seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, very mature. I say that because at 34 years old, you're really only 4 or 5 years away from being 20 again. So a lot of guys don't want to grow up, but it sounds like he in fact did grow up. So I am going to cut this short because Yorgan was so intimidated by me. He's called the Mad Titan, but I think he was I think I asked him really tough questions and he got nervous, and I'm totally kidding. But this is we'll have him back on, and I'm going to be on a podcast with Jill Nicolini. I'm going to get the name of that podcast. Jill Nicolini is she's been around a while, especially in New York, and that's in July. So I'm looking forward to that very much. And that's it. So I want to thank my guest, Yorgan Decastro, the Mad Titan. And we're out. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. And tune in because I'll be talking to Vince Pitchell. And real quick, because I want to tell you guys who I'm talking to. Tyler King is cool too. Tyler King, he fought in Bellator, and he's a badass. And I'm sure there's lessons to be learned there too. But I wanna really quickly tell you the other guest I got coming up, Leah Letson. So I'll be speaking to Leah Letson next week, and it's turning out to be it's looking like it's going to be an MMA show, but it's really not an MMA show. And I'll get Yorgan back. So thanks, everybody. Take care, and you have a great day. Session is out. I don't know if I like that line. What do you think? Session is out, because I was going to say in session because I'm a therapist. All right, well, this is Patrick Argiro, aka Cousin Pat, signing out. So thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.